Howdy, how are y'all? I want to thank you for being here this morning to discuss how we at Texas A&M can further strengthen our international activities. It was just over 2 years ago that my grandfather passed away. However, I think he'd be pleased and proud of the advancements that have been made in agriculture over the past 2 years. The U.S. government has renewed its investment in agricultural research through Feed the Future. Wheat's genetic code has been cracked. There's an increased international awareness of wheat rust, and African leaders are now devoting financing and resources to the advancement of their country's international ag programs. We at Texas A&M are here today to further commit and strengthen our role in international agriculture. My grandfather was many things. He was a teacher, a warrior against hunger, but first and foremost, he was a scientist. He often said that the fear of change is the greatest obstacle to progress. He came down on the side of innovation and was known for being bold and quick to act. Industry leaders were fond of my grandfather because he was such a strong advocate for innovation and technological change. My grandfather's most potent views of science was that man's most advanced knowledge and technology should be used in the battle against hunger and poverty. He was greatly troubled by the unwillingness of nations to employ the best technologies in food production. In his view, there was no technology too advanced for developing nations. Even fellow scientists and research administrators did not escape his wrath when they moved too slowly on research to develop high-protein maize and the rust-resistant gene for wheat. There is a Nobel Prize waiting, he would say, for the person who finds the rust-resistant gene in rice and moves it to the wheat plant. As many of you know, we as an industry face a great challenge: how to feed the world in 2050. We're going to need to produce more food than ever before. This is to feed the growing population, but also the changing way people are eating. At the beginning of the 21st century, we had a population of 6.1 billion, and we are now headed to 9.2 billion by 2050. The challenge of yet again doubling food production in only 50 years has become a daunting task. The situation is further exacerbated because now we must double food production sustainably on approximately the same land, using less resources, particularly fossil fuels, water and nitrogen, at the same time when we also must mitigate some of the enormous challenges associated with climate change, as we have seen this year through the drought in the Horn of Africa and here in Texas. Furthermore, there is a critical and urgent humanitarian need to alleviate poverty, hunger, and malnutrition. We know how to replenish soils, enhance crops, supply fertilizer, pesticide, and water for maximum yield. We know how to properly harvest, protect, dry, fumigate crops. We know how to package, store, ship, market food for maximum income to farmers and maximum benefit to consumers. But across Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East, people are still struggling to pull 1 ton of grain per hectare, while American, Japanese, and European farmers get up to 6 tons. Many agricultural experts believe we have failed to bring science and the wisdom of the 21st century to millions of farmers still trapped in ancient techniques. And as a result, for the first time in history, 1 billion people last year were undernourished, according to the FAO. And currently, 29 countries, mainly in Africa, but also in Asia, have alarming or extremely alarming levels of hunger, and the situation is getting worse. Yet some of the keys to ending hunger are known: usage of fertilizer, integrated pest management, hybrid seeds, building of infrastructure, fair food prices, sound political policies, biotechnology, and training, and yet still hunger exists. My grandfather strongly believed the role of the land-grant universities played in the past 50 years was key to improving the quality, quantity, and availability of the world's food supply. Furthermore, he believed to answer the demands of the next 50 years, it was integral that land grants once again play that vital role. He knew if we provided farmers with access to the best seeds and other inputs, no child would ever go hungry again. As it was with the Green Revolution, agricultural science and technology, strong partnerships among public and private sector are still key to solving the world's food problems. The role of Texas A&M AgriLife, Extension, and Coles is more important today than it's ever been. To meet the enormous challenge, it will require Texas A&M to utilize our depth, breadth of experience to help provide a comprehensive solution to address these problems. As leaders in areas such as sorghum, alpha toxin research, precision agriculture, livestock, food nutrition, and food safety, it is incumbent upon us to answer the questions in the next 2 days. How will we as a university help feed 9 billion people, and what is our role? If my grandfather were here today, he would thank each of you for being here and for your role in improving global food security, as well as your contribution to agricultural science and development. He would tell you that you're the next generation of hunger fighters and to stay dedicated and optimistic to your mission. He would also implore you to hurry, to work together, and he would remind you you can't eat potential. He would ask at the end of this summit that we recommit ourselves to the task at hand and lead the way in making a second green revolution a reality. There are not many universities and organizations my grandfather trusted with his legacy, but we fortunately are one, and I hope that Texas A&M will continue to honor his wishes. Over the next 2 days, we will hear from our own internal faculty and from our external peer institutions. Please utilize this time to gain insight into different approaches while also being willing to think outside the box. Again, I thank you for your participation, and I hope through this summit we're able to build a roadmap that will help us take a lead in feeding the future.